Welcome back, loners. Thank you guys for jumping on another video here with us. We really appreciate everyone who's been liking, subscribing, commenting, and jumping over to our vlog channel and subscribing there as well. We hope you enjoy that content. Also, it's like where we can just kind of be ourselves more and do everyday things, and also just go on trips or do stuff, and you just kind of follow along if you enjoy it.
Side note, we are going on a trip.
Yeah,
everything goes as planned for pretty much all of April. So we are going to be batching some of our loners content. So if you notice that, then just mind your business. Okay? We're trying to we don't want to leave a month of no content on this channel.
Yeah.
Otherwise, algorithm, stupid, whatever.
Well, we also know you guys enjoy watching it, and
you just love us so much.
We enjoy doing this too.
We don't want to leave you hanging. And for those, for the real ones, go follow our vlog description.
Yeah. You can follow along on our trip, because we're gonna be posting stuff from our trip on there, and we think you'll enjoy it.
We're gonna be eating a lot, so
eat
with us.
So
okay,
guys,
I'm looking forward to the most.
This video,
you good?
From the time of doing this video, it was posted 5 hours ago. So
fresh off the griddle.
Her name is Sabine Hosenfelder. It says what Americans don't understand about Europe. So
all right, Sabine,
let's see what you got to say, Sabine.
I've noticed an increasingly negative attitude of US Americans to Europeans, and the other way around. It makes me sad, because I think there's much to admire in both America and Europe. So today I want to talk a little about what I think is going on and what we have in common and what not. A lot of the US-European kerfuffle is friendly, and you find it in memes like "the European mind can't comprehend this," posted by Americans, featuring SUVs, highway junctions, or oversized meals and drinks. In return, we have the retaliation. The American mind can't comprehend this, with the metric system, walls of public bathroom stalls.
I envy your guys' bathrooms, to be honest. I know it's not probably everywhere, but they're just so much more private.
Oh, like the stalls?
Yeah. Like it's in ours, you can like see through the cracks and all this stuff.
I need to know the thought process behind that, because no matter how much we joke about it and point it out, they still don't fix it. In a lot of places,
they're not going to go in.
Not everyone's like that, but why not? It makes no fucking sense.
That have gaps at the bottom and garbage separation. Speaking of garbage, in case you missed it, 2 months ago, New York City introduced garbage bins. My European mind can't comprehend this. Of course, the American European
garbage bins.
You know what's cool? He's actually gaining traction. There's a younger, like millennial socialist candidate running for mayor in New York. Let's see if he wins. I mean, I doubt it, but I hope, because that would be a good change. Like there was a thing that it was a post going against him that was like, I forget his name, but it was like he wants to raise corporate taxes and give out freebies to everyone. And then he reposted it, and he's like, yeah, I second this. He's like, that is what I'm trying to do. He's like, you said it right.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah.
What a crime.
Georges Clemenceau, who was Prime Minister of France more than a century ago, said, "America is the only nation in history which miraculously has gone directly from barbarism to degeneration without the usual interval of civilization."
God damn
According
it.
to the
That is extremely accurate.
Yes.
Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw, the 100% American is 99% idiot.
That stung a
and
little.
Winston Churchill allegedly said that Americans can always be trusted to do the right thing once all other possibilities have been exhausted.
So true.
Americans
Very
haven't
true.
been any friendlier to Europeans. The American comedian Jackie Mason quipped that England is the only country in the world where the food is more dangerous than the sex. Bette Midler declared that when it's 3 o'clock in New York, it's still 1938 in London. The American author and journalist P.J. O'Rourke said that you can always reason with a German. You can always reason with a barnyard animal too, for all the good it does. All good fun. But we also have many Europeans who think Americans are just stupid to accept living in the conditions that they do. That judgment has become especially pronounced since the first Trump presidency. And I'm laughing at Trump supporters. People that stupid shouldn't be allowed to vote. That's a quote from a young Dutch person. I can tell you from my own experience that among the Europeans I know, this attitude is extremely common. You don't have to take my word for it, because by the blessing that's YouTube, we have footage of a young American who asked European.
Guys, I feel like the way Europe sees America, I feel like I've said this in the past, is how we see certain states.
Yeah. Like
how blue states see a lot of the red states. Not all of them, but like there's a few I won't mention in particular that just these people they don't know outside of Fox News.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, like they don't know outside of that.
Yes.
I saw on TikTok today this woman who openly admitted, and this is a grown woman, like probably even older than me, admitted that she, along with a lot of her community, believed that when people were aborting babies in this country, they would literally give birth and then they would take the baby and like slaughter it, like murder it. That's what they thought having bodily autonomy.
No way.
I'm not saying it's everyone that is against abortions or is against a woman's right to choose, but apparently a lot of them believe that.
That's what they think of Americans.
Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in Germany, you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans? Or
not really.
No, okay, so more negative.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed, like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea Party things happening. It got more polarized and that made it more negative in my view.
This is from before the recent US election, but I don't think the situation has much improved since.
Yeah.
In return, many Americans likewise think Europeans are stupid to accept living in the conditions that they do. An opinion that seems to be mostly based on the economic superiority of the United States, or the higher income you can make in some professions, or the high taxes we pay in Europe.
Yeah, but the thing that I've seen a lot too, especially from people who have lived in Europe and America or United States, they might make less over there, but in most of these other places, the cost of living is more balanced. It's not as high as it is here compared to the compensation in the States.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen.
Encounter this attitude on X, Twitter, all the time. The reason this makes me unhappy is that it presumes people in other countries must share our values. I've lived for some years in the United States, and I believe that Americans just have different values than Europeans. We each have a different idea of what makes for a good life, and it makes no sense that we try to impose our values on each other. Have a look at this podium discussion. Can you spot the American among the Swedes? Somewhat more seriously, many Americans, for example, think of freedom as individual autonomy, guns being left alone by the government, and being able to say what they want without limitations. This is why they're skeptical of the idea to make health insurance mandatory, don't think much of social welfare programs, and constantly complain about censorship. They've grown up learning that if you want to be successful, you need to take risks. They've grown up learning that failure is a normal part of life and an opportunity to learn. They've grown up learning to value independence. Europeans, on the other hand, are more likely to associate freedom with social security. They want to be free to pursue their interests without having to worry about, say, being indebted for the rest of their life because they wanted to.
It is very bizarre that a lot of people here are still under that illusion that our freedom's on the line.
It's just a different way of looking at what freedom is to you as a person and a whole, you know, a society. Like we do have a sickness in our minds over here to where, like, Well, I did it. They can do it themselves. I don't give a shit where they came from. They could do it. They don't need what handouts. You want handouts? You want Social Security? You want healthcare? You want all these things? You need to earn that. You need to work for it. It's like
Yeah, a lot of people here don't believe
that mindset
that's
to
a
me
human right.
is so fucking negative and just barbaric. It's like we're all fucking humans, especially we're humans living in the same country. We should look out for each other without it being such a negative thing. But it's just the way that our society has brought it up, especially in like the capitalist system that we have.
Also, I do feel like a lot of places here, their standards for quality of life is so low that they will accept scraps from the government
Yeah, there's also this big
treatment, and as long as they can have their guns, you know, as long as you stay out of their Twitter fingers.
yeah.
As long as you don't criticize their bigotry and their hate, and you don't try to rip their guns from their hands, then yeah, they'll accept shitty healthcare and shitty food, and
Well, because they think the
'cause
other thing outweighs
they
it.
don't have, like, a lot of them don't have a standard for like a quality of life. They just don't,
No, I get you. The other thing,
in my opinion.
yeah, there's also
'Cause
a
maybe
sentiment.
to them that's happiness.
Yeah. It outweighs the positive of that in their head outweighs what could be the positive of social things that
Yeah, and
benefit
then
everyone.
the whole scarcity mindset that
Yeah,
if
exactly.
everyone's happy, then it's gonna come at my
It's
expense.
taking away something from me. Yeah.
Study physics, having to ask for donations to pay their cancer treatment,
Yeah, that happens a
or
lot.
getting shot at the mall. In Europe, we tend to see universal healthcare, tuition-free education, and unemployment benefits as the basis of individual liberty. We accept higher taxes and regulations as protections from systemic risks like poverty or illness, and most of us agree that one person's free speech ends when it endangers another person's safety or dignity. We've grown up learning that bad fortune can hit anyone. We've grown up learning that we're stronger together. We've grown
Yeah, we
up
don't learn
learning
that.
to
Yeah.
think before
We
acting.
learn
Yes, these are
individual.
terrible stereotypes, and I apologize profoundly to all Americans and Europeans who feel misrepresented, which will be all of you, I guess, because I think we all have some sympathy for both perspectives. Like, just among you and I agree that our taxes are too high. But by my own experience, I think that on average, these stereotypes are largely true. I believe that our different values go back to our different historical trajectories. The USA was built by rebels who fled from tyranny. Then they ended up in the awkward situation of needing a government for people who don't want to be governed. That's basically still the situation today. Europe, on the other hand, had kings and monarchs for millennia, and then saw the emergence of a strong labor movement, which only grew stronger after the First and Second World War. This is why we have such strong labor unions, which prevent a lot of the financial exploitation that's possible in the United States.
Yeah, our labor union type of thing is like non-existent here in the US. I was looking at a whole like list.
Where it depends.
No,
yeah.
but even compared to pretty much most other, I hate to use the word first world, second world, blah, 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 but any of those countries, like most of them have
Western.
much stronger and more presence of labor
They
unions.
take it more seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, having unions to
Yeah.
protect workers. Here, I don't know.
Let's
I feel
pay
like
them
they
as little
see
as
it-
possible.
Right.
and if they get hurt, just replace them. Like, yeah.
And these fundamental differences reflect in the way that we deal with business developments. Americans tend to think that Europe's overregulated and slow and too risk-averse. They're right. And Europeans tend to think that in the United States, rich people make the poor poorer by burning money in overly risky investments. They're also right. A good way to see how these cultural differences result in economic differences is this graph. It compares labor productivity in the EU with that in the US. You can see that the productivity per capita in the EU has grown far less in the past decades, and I understand that Americans are proud of their achievement. But if you dig into the details, the reason for the discrepancy is that Europeans on average work fewer hours.
Yeah.
You can see this if you normalize this productivity by the number of hours worked. Then the curves look almost identical. What does this mean? I think it means that Europeans don't care a lot about the GPU. At least I don't. If an American comes to me boasting about how high the US GPT is, or how many billionaires are Americans, or how many big companies are owned by Americans, all I can say is,
Cool,
well,
good job.
and what do you get out of
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Are you happy that you made
What do you get out of it? Yep.
the rich people even richer?
Yep.
If the answer is yes, that's fine with me and I respect that. But it's not a system that I would feel comfortable in, and I hope that you can respect that too. And that basically is the message of this video. I wish that we all had more respect for how people in other cultures choose to live their lives. Americans aren't stupid because they voted for Trump, and
are.
Europeans aren't stupid because they pay high taxes. We just do things differently. I very much admire the American
This could be my American brain talking, but seeing how much our government affects a lot of the rest of the world, I think is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
We forced other countries to be dependent on us.
it's not like Europe has one leader representing all of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but in the States, I don't know, just like one person speaking on our whole behalf
Yeah.
for so many fucking people that
Yeah.
don't even agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, unless people are going out of their way to research on their own, they're not gonna understand, or unless they live here, they're not gonna understand how divided we are
Yeah.
and how much backlash Trump is getting right now and his whole administration is getting right now.
There's a lot of
And
things
it
though that are
sucks
like,
because it's easy to just be like, well, you guys voted him, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's truly not that simple. It's almost at a point where it feels like we don't even have viable options.
Yeah,
We just
no, I know.
have someone who is objectively terrible for the whole world, and then Democrats that
they're still all
hold
just
fucking
yeah.
signs in the House floor acting like that's gonna fucking do anything because
Well, Democrats are also very corrupt, which sucks.
whatever.
Because they would-
they are nowhere near as
No,
corrupt.
no, I know,
as
but I'm saying like
MAGA.
they all still work for a money machine. They're not really.
Right. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're not ever gonna achieve some utopia here.
Yeah.
But that's
Or
not even
any semblance of that. Yeah.
right. But anyway, okay. I guess my point is that as much as she's saying we should all respect how everyone chooses to go about, their government,
Mm-hmm.
people here fucking hate it. Like we don't subscribe or support
Yeah. Yep.
a lot of this, and I'm telling you, it is the majority of the country that does not support this. This
Yeah.
is not like you voted him. It must be it's not half the country. I can put money down on that.
A lot of people have changed their stance too, but
not just that, but so many people don't vote. So many people are immigrants that don't vote. There are
Yeah.
so many people that are too young to vote, but are fully fucking aware of the political state our country's in because they are forced to,
Yeah.
because we're in crisis mode every day.
entrepreneurial spirit, their willingness to take risks, and their independence. But I also think it's good that we don't all do things the same way.
No, I was gonna say too. Like, there's a lot of little things that Trump is doing right now that's taking away power to labor forces. They're taking away power to specific.
They're going to
groups of
start laying
people.
off Department of
And
Education.
yeah, it's like there's a lot of things that are happening that are very. No matter what you believe in or anything, they're just not right. They're really gonna hurt a lot of people, and that's the point that I think we're trying to make. That she's trying to be very like pleasing both sides.
Yeah. Which
Um,
is, I totally understand that take. Like, hey, let's just all respect each other. It's
Just,
like,
there's a
no-
lot of shit that they're doing that's gonna hurt a lot of people, and
it's like, no, Sabine, save us.
Yeah, I know.
Save us.
but I don't know. Leave your opinions in the comments of what you think. Like, cause I have seen that like your taxes are higher in most of Europe, but then like it weighs out because of the premiums that we pay and all the other type of shit we pay too on the side. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's always going to be pros and cons
Yeah.
to any structure.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I mean, I would not die on the hill that like you guys are crazy because you pay more in taxes to have. It's like, okay, but it benefits them
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like
It takes off a
okay,
big burden.
That's,
Yeah.
Who cares? Like at
All right.
least they have healthcare.
Yeah. All right. Leave your Leave your comments and opinions below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.